Viwe Chilwana.
I'm Labika Rawood. For more information on the work that we do and how you can help us to help others, please visit our website www.secondchances.org.za.
In Junior Achievement South Africa, its focus is really to expose youngsters within high school and out of school to entrepreneurial thinking, and ours is focused at high school from grade 10 to 12.
I'm very big on youth empowerment and making a difference and touching lives and impacting the lives of our young people. That's practically what I do with my foundation as well, and ever since I was crowned as Miss SA.
The goal of the magazine is to basically share information that will be able to assist small business owners.
You're listening to The Social Show with Viwe Chilwana
And Labika Rawood, live on brandlive.co.za.
Welcome to The Social Show, everybody. My name is Viwe, and I am with my co-host, ever so energetic, Labika. How are you?
I'm great, but I just got rained on, Viwe, and I'm so disappointed by the rain. I love rain, but not on my hair, not on a black girl's hair.
No, you know what? I think it's gonna die down now. It's actually dying down, so I feel a bit safe.
Yeah,
I feel safe
too.
in the studio. As long as we stay in the studio, everything's going to be fine. Okay, we're going to start off the show as per usual with the news. Labika?
Okay, in our news, YouCook, which is an online dinner kit delivery service, is ensuring that packing is recycled or leftover food is redistributed, and is tackling waste in two ways. Firstly, all used packaging can be collected by the courier and returned to them for recycling. Secondly, they donate all leftover food to the local leg of Global Upcycle Campaign, the Real Junk Food Project. Co-founder of YouCook, David Tor, said sometimes extra food might mount up because they buy and stock their food in bulk. Now, the Real Junk Food Project makes sure that all food they receive is edible and upcycles the ingredients to feed the poor, giving us the opportunity to support a great cause. That's also what David Tor said. And he also said that they hope their delicious meals will inspire their clients to make ethical eating choices.
Nice. In other news, Kepler Foundation is planning an adventure which will see endurance athletes David Greer and Andrew Stewart running 1,100 kilometers over a period of 20 days, with the aim of raising 110,000 for Kepler Miles for Smiles initiative, which raises funds and awareness for Operation Smile. Over the past 10 years, David has covered nearly 25,000 kilometers on 6 adventures, and in the process raised 8.7 million towards corrective cleft, lip and palate surgeries for over 2,000 children. This year, Greer and Stewart will be running the Thailand Ultra Marathon, which is 100 kilometers, and they will be running it 10 times over in the 20 days. Paul Miller, CEO of Kepler, said the company encourages all South Africans to follow David's journey from Bangkok to Thailand via Facebook and donate to this worthy cause. Donations to Operation Smiles is open to individuals who wish to change the lives of children and to show support to the two runners for their remarkable feat.
Okay, Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, who is the founder of the Gift of the Givers Foundation, has been awarded the Global Citizen Award by the international advisory firm Henley and Partners. Dr. Suleiman was recognized for his efforts in developing the Gift of the Givers Foundation into one of Africa's largest disaster relief organizations, raising more than $150 million in life-saving aid for 42 countries around the world, including war-ravaged states such as Syria, Libya, Sudan, Somalia, and Bosnia. His team of 200 provide medical assistance, equipment and supplies, as well as high energy and protein supplements, food and water to millions of people each year. During the aftermath of the 2010 Haiti earthquake, the organization sent 4 rescue teams and aid materials to the country. At one point in 2011, they were the only international aid group providing food parcels to Somalia, airlifting 180 tons and shipping 2,000 tons of aid.
Volkswagen Group South Africa and the Office of the Premier of the Eastern Cape have jointly initiated a program that will train 100 unemployed people in the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro. The 20 million funding agreement, which was solidified in December last year, is being used to provide training for specialist skills such as advanced PLC and robotics, vehicle electronics, applications and product development. The fund will also be utilized to upgrade training facilities and equipment. Trainees will undergo 13-week training programs that will cover fundamental skills such as correct use of hand tools and lean manufacturing. Thereafter, they will take part in on-the-job production training. The training program is linked to 4 unit standards within the automotive manufacturing qualifications and will give trainees 28 credits towards a future qualification.
A school in Cape Town is now running totally off the grid and is in fact feeding excess power into the city's electricity supply. The German International School Cape Town in Tambushkloof has fully embraced a green future by installing a 150 kWp solar electricity system, which is designed for embedded generation that will maximize self-consumption and feed excess power back into Cape Town's electricity grid. This is made possible by making use of the small-scale embedded generation tariff the City of Cape Town offers for solar systems. Alexander Kirimsa, who is the headmaster, said this plant teaches the learners the value of sustainable energy generated by green technology and being conscious of environmental challenges, which is part of the school's Going Green campaign. Schools are an excellent business case for embedded generation solar systems because during school times, most power consumed comes from the solar system. And on weekends and during school holidays, the power is sold to the grid.
In support of World Diabetes Day, which is today, the City of Cape Town will host a range of activities to encourage residents to be proactive and make healthy lifestyle choices under the global theme Eyes on Diabetes. According to the Mayor of Cape Town, Patricia de Lille, the key message for this year's campaign is to raise awareness about the importance of screening to pick up diabetes early and to reduce the risk of serious complications. To mark this global event, the city's health department has planned informative health talks and screening events in the sub-districts across the city to promote awareness of diabetes. The Ikwezi Clinic in the Eastern District has planned a number of events for today at the Luandle Community Hall from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., which we actually just passed. In the Western District, in Protea Park and Elbow Gardens Clinic will provide health talks and blood glucose screening throughout the week. According to the World Health Organization, diabetes was listed as one of the top 10 causes of death in the country, and contributing factors were listed as obesity, unhealthy diets, and a lack of physical activity.
Wow, diabetes is really, really real. And you know what? Anyone can get diabetes. You know, it's not like HIV where, you know, it doesn't just happen to you unless you do something crazy.
Or something,
or, you know, blood transfusion and that kind of thing. But I mean, diabetes is something that can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, just reading the YouCook story now, they're trying to promote healthy eating.
Yeah.
You know, and really, you really can prevent
lower your chances. Yeah.
Yes.
People just don't know that, you know, that whatever food you're putting into your body is going to have an effect. You know, whether you get it from, like they said, obesity, or you just get it from not even like moving or being physical with your body. You really need to be a little bit more aware. But what I like, right, I don't know if you've seen, there's a lot of like gym movements happening now, healthy food movements that are happening on, you know, social media. So I think a lot of people have taken that thing on, and they're starting to really understand, you know, that their bodies need to be nutritioned. Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so what is today? It's Monday, right?
It's the dreadful Monday.
So Every Monday we have International Mondays.
Yes, definitely. In International Mondays, we speak about international NGOs that are really making their marks. Libika.
Yes, and an NGO that I really think is making their mark is the Africa Educational Trust.
Okay.
Now, it was founded in 1958 to support education for African people, particularly those involved in the continent's struggle for independence. The founders were strong opponents of colonial rule and brought together prominent activists such as Reverend Michael Scott, with leading academics in African studies, including Professor Kenneth Kirkwood and Professor Roland Oliver. Together, the founders raised raised money because you can't raise funds. So they raised money to support African students, especially exiles and refugees from white minority regimes in Southern Africa. Now, this enabled them to obtain higher education in Europe, mostly the UK, and gain the skills and knowledge necessary to build and lead independent states. Now, between 1958, this is just a history lesson on the African Educational Trust. Between 1958 and 1996, nearly 6,000 exiles and students from all over Africa, South Africa, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Ethiopia, Somalia, Sudan, gained higher level academic and vocational qualifications in the UK thanks to support from the African Education Trust. So yes, they also have partnered with various organizations, and one of the organizations that they've worked closely with is the Book Aid International, which sent over 30 million books since 1954, sent over 30 million books to libraries in Africa and supports over 2,000 libraries annually.
Wow.
So yes, the African Education Trust, that is my international organization.
I love that. On my end, I have the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement, which is an international humanitarian movement with approximately 97 million volunteers, members, and staff worldwide. It was founded to protect human life and health, to ensure respect for all human beings, and to prevent and alleviate human suffering. The movement consists of several distinct organizations that are legally independent from each other, but are united within the movement through common basic principles, objectives, symbols, statutes, and governing organizations. Now, the official mission of the ICRC is as an impartial, neutral, and independent organization which stands to protect the life and dignity of victims of international and internal armed conflicts. The core tasks of the committees include to monitor compliance of warring parties with the Geneva Conventions, to organize nursing and care for those who are wounded on the battlefield, to supervise the treatment of prisoners of war, to help with the search for missing persons in an armed conflict, to organize protection and care for civil populations, and to arbitrate between warring parties in an armed conflict. One of their most recent, I think, milestones is how they sort of been helping resolve, or rather assist with the conflict in Syria, right? So obviously, if you know, Syria is having the largest and the most complex humanitarian crisis in the world, and no end seems to be in sight. 8 million people have been displaced inside Syria. 5 million refugees live in neighboring countries and beyond. 1.5 million people have been injured, and over 250,000 people have been killed already this year. So what they did is that they carried out 14 operations from front lines, reaching 116 million Syrian people with clean water, 2.6 million with food, and over 500,000 with essential household items. They also have provided 1.7 million people with food every month, 180,000 with essential household items, and also they've restored people's access to clean water. In addition to delivering more medicine, they have vowed to step up primary healthcare services provided by Syrian Arab Red Crescent, which includes providing vehicles to transport vaccines and increasing assistance to hospitals and treatment centers. What I liked about the specific, it's obviously everyone knows Red Cross and what they've done, but you find that we tend to kind of turn a blind eye to war-stricken countries because people just don't want to get involved in the politics and choose a side or have to get in, because a country has to sort of fight for itself, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's a civil war. So I love the fact that they're not getting in there trying to control who gets who and what. They're just trying to help the people that have already been through a lot, and that's what they do. They do it all over the world. Syria is just one of the examples. I know they've been in Congo. They are big in Iraq. So Red Cross has to be one of those big NGOs that has really made their mark and have continued to. I mean, they've been around since World War One, World War Two. So it's very beautiful to see that sort of longevity and that impact that they've been really doing in the world.
But I always think about organizations such as Red Cross, who provides, relief for people in countries that, like Syria and that are hit with natural disasters and everything else. And I think, how do they do it?
Yeah.
How do you go to another, and they have so many volunteers, over
97 million
volunteers. So how do you as volunteer go to Syria and you see a little boy crying, holding his mother in his hand, for example? He just
his
lost
mother
his
holding
mother.
him. Oh, holding his mother. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How do you... I don't know. How do you do that? I don't know if I'd be able to do that, because I feel like you need to be a really strong person to be able to witness all these
what
crazy things.
What I think they do is that they have, I completely agree with you, it's very difficult, but they have stations in each country. So it isn't like Americans are coming to Syria. Do you know what I'm saying? You've got the Syrian Red Cross as well. So you've got people who kind of understand the climate, and and people who understand the people, who understand what's going on. So they realize, as much as it is terrifying, it's something that they see, something that they know, so they're able to engage in the in whatever's happening in front of them. They do get aid, like obviously some from America, some from Russia, all over the world. But what I like is that every single country probably has like a Red Cross representative of some sort. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So everyone they've got a close ear to the ground, which is always smart in spaces like this, because you don't want to get involved in the crossfire. You want, especially when you're just trying to help.
Definitely. Okay, so we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we will introduce to you our interesting topic. Please do not go anywhere.
The Social Show is the only show that gives you updated content on all things CSI.
The show will interrogate and report on the latest initiatives that are supported, developed, and initiated by the public and private sector.
Hosted by myself, Viwe Cholwana,
And me, Lebika Robert,
every week from 4 to 5 p.m. Hear it on brandlive.co.za.
See it on social-tv.co.za.
brandlive.co.za, harnessing the power of talk radio.
That was the Unity Project, which is a group of university students that collaborated with the Storm in Africa Foundation. Okay, so I told you that I'm going to introduce our interesting topic. Now, on Mondays, we speak about arts and culture and its impact in the CSI space. Now, today, we are particularly focusing on music and songs which have in actual fact, change the lives of millions of people around the world.
Yes, music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and to everything. And that was a quote from Plato, and I know it's intense, I know, but I couldn't agree more with Plato. While it might seem extreme to give music that much power, I think this guy knew what he was talking about, Lebika.
Definitely. I mean, it's also a universal language,
Yes.
That we all understand. And by appealing to our emotions, it has the ability to break down complex issues into things we can all relate to.
Definitely. And in this way, music expands, over horizons and opens our minds to new ideas. And in my opinion, using music as a tool to build movements is one of the most important, aspects of being a global citizen, if you consider yourself a global citizen. And it's something that I believe makes organizations quite unique.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so we all agree that music is a universal language, and
It's done so much to support
to support
causes and charities. Yes.
And okay, this is actually a person, believe it or not. Okay, so we're going to speak about music
Yeah.
that has, or the proceeds of certain songs that have gone to charity. Okay, believe it or not, there are certain musicians who would.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry. You just said there are certain musicians.
I said certain.
Okay, sorry, baby.
Anyway,
Carry on.
so there are certain musicians
Thank you.
who don't care about the money. Okay. Now, I'm not saying this particular person doesn't care about the money, but she allowed proceeds of one of her songs, actually 3 of her songs,
Wow.
to go to charity. Okay, so it's Mariah Carey.
Okay.
Okay, my mother's gonna be very happy because she loves Mariah Carey.
I love her too. She's so amazing.
Okay, so Mariah Carey released a song called Save the Day and donated all proceeds to human rights causes. I'm not sure if you know the song Save the Day, Viwe.
No, I've never heard that song.
I'd hum it for you, but I don't know the song either. This is not the first time the pop star has donated money to charity. Her singles Hero and One Sweet Day. Now, those are songs I know.
I know those two.
Yes.
I can hum those, but I think, it's not the right platform.
Okay, so those Hero and One Sweet Day, she also allowed that those proceeds be donated to charity. I'm not sure of the exact amount, but hey, Mariah Carey
Doing great things.
doing great things.
So one way we can see music really going beyond, because obviously you get sort of transfixed in the lyrics, right? If you listen to the Hero lyrics, or you listen to One Sweet Day, you're already feeling like, man,
Like you can relate.
you can relate. Exactly.
Really, you
Either
can.
someone, there's a relatability in the music. So on top of it all, she took all those proceeds and then she gave them away, and
Donated
I
to
think,
charity, and it apparently generated millions for good causes.
wow.
So yeah,
And Mariah gets a bad rap. People say she's a diva.
but she is, don't you think?
No, but you can't be a diva and donate 100 million rands.
You're right. You're right.
There's a heart there. There's a beautiful heart there.
Mm.
In other musical news, which I think everyone will agree with me about this song, is one of the biggest songs. Still is one of the biggest songs, I think, in terms of the charity space. We Are the World is a song and charity single originally recorded by the supergroup United Support of Artists for Africa in 1985. It was written by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie, with arrangements by Michael Omarshan, and produced by Quincy Jones for the album We Are the World, with sales in excess of, listen to this, 20 million copies. 20 million copies for a charity single.
Wow.
That is a record, right? So 4 months after the release of We Are the World, USA for Africa had taken in almost 10.8 million, which is almost 23 million today in today's terms, and the majority of the money came from record sales within the US. Members of the public also donated money, almost 1.3 million within the same time period. In May 1985, USA for Africa officials estimated that they had sold between 45 million and 47 million worth of official merchandise around the world. The organizer, which is Ken Cragen, announced that they would be distributing all of the money at once. Instead, he revealed that the foundation would be looking into finding a long-term solution for Africa's problems. Following the devastation caused by the magnitude of the earthquake in Haiti on January 12, a remake of the song by another all-star cast of the singers was recorded in February 2010, entitled We Are the World for Haiti. It was released as a single on the February 12, 2010, and proceeds from that also aided the survivors in the impoverished country. So the song has like this multi-ripple effect where every time people sort of engage in it, they make money or they raise money. And I think that's what music's supposed to do.
Definitely. But I also think the reason why the song was so successful is because Michael Jackson. I mean,
Yeah.
I think everything he used to touch turned into gold, you know? I mean, he's had so much hits, and I just think that he was the perfect person, you know, to write the song and perform the song.
No, definitely.
So,
You can actually hear him in the lyrics, because you think of all the kind of songs he did at the time, about, you know, saving humanity, saving, you know, the environment. You kind of understand which space he was when he wrote "We Are the World." But I mean, nobody. I've yet to meet someone who doesn't know this song. I have yet to meet someone who doesn't know the song. So "We Are the World" is one of those songs that we really think has made its mark in the world of CSI and arts and culture within CSI, rather.
Okay, so Vera, I'm not sure if you remember the song. I think it was "Stand Up for Cancer."
Yes.
Yes, I know you know the song because you love Beyonce, and she also sang in the song, so that's why, right?
Yeah, that's the only reason. I'm joking.
But yes, okay, so "Stand Up for Cancer" is the name of a title, but is the name of the song. But it's also the name of the organization that the song was performed for or created for. Now, American songwriter and producer Antonio Reed conceived the collaboration after meeting with the founder of Stand Up to Cancer, which benefited from the proceeds of the record. Now, the song featured Beyonce, Leona Lewis, Rihanna, Beyonce.
You mentioned Beyonce. You mentioned Beyonce 3 times.
Because I love Beyonce. So yes, I mean, she was in there. So yeah, it was a great track. I used to sing to it when I was very, very young. But yes, the singers performed the song live on the Stand Up to Cancer show, which aired simultaneously on US TV networks ABC, CBS, and NBC on September 5, 2008. Wow, it was that long ago. Okay, and as of October 2013, Just Stand Up, okay, I think that was the name of the song, Just Stand Up, has sold 393,000 digital downloads in the US.
Wow.
So the single was re-released on September 30th, 2008 with the original recording as well as the audio of the live performance. Now, that song, if I'm correct... I think I read a report. I actually just don't have it with me, Viwe. The proceeds of the song was over R1 million, you know, and that went to the Stand Up to Cancer Foundation. So these celebrities, I think it was 15 of them or 10 of them, came, donated their time, you know, to work on the song and to record the song and to perform it, and all the money went straight to the Stand Up to Cancer Foundation.
That's
awesome. The artists did not benefit at all, you know, through money or anything.
And that's beautiful. And that's what charity is, right?
Yes.
You sort of give your time. What's great is, I mean, they're all divas in their own respect, but the fact that they all kind of came together and were able not to step on each other's toes.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
That's the one thing I'm always thinking. I'm thinking, okay, so many girls on one song, so many big voices. But the song came out pretty well.
It really did. But like, no shade, but I mean, you had Beyonce in the show, in the song, and then you had like Miley Cyrus. And like, she was Hannah Montana at the time. I'm just saying.
Hannah Montana can still do good. Okay, in other news, the Tsunami Aid, a concert of hope, was a worldwide benefit held for the tsunami victims of 2004. Wow. Indian Ocean earthquake. It was broadcast on NBC and affiliated networks of US. I'm so sorry. It's so funny that I shouldn't have said 20,000.
I'm trying not to laugh. Okay.
We're real people and we make mistakes sometimes.
We do.
Okay, cool. Okay, let me start that from the top. Okay, so the song, or actually the broadcast, was on NBC and its affiliated networks of the USA network, like Bravo, PAX, and so forth. Now, the benefit was led by actor George Clooney on January 15, 2005, and it was kind of similar to America, a tribute to heroes set up of the September 11th, 2001 attacks. I keep saying
what's going on, Viwe? Is it the weather?
I think it's the weather. Anyway, digital media innovator Jay Samit enabled the viewers to purchase digital downloads of the performances as a new way to raise money for the cause, including live recordings by Elton John, Madonna, Sheryl Crow, Eric Clapton, who I love, and Roger Waters, taking a cue from Bob Geldof, the man who had organized the Live Aid American President concerts for African famine, rather. It consisted of famous Hollywood entertainers and former American presidents like George W. Bush and Bill Clinton. It was 2 hours long with stories and entertainment from a huge array of Hollywood pop stars and notables that included sort of Brad Pitt, Donald Trump, who is now the president. And it was estimated to have raised at least $5 million by the end of the broadcast.
Wow. So it's probably much more than that.
It's much more than that. However, a lot of money, was ultimately received and raised. The telethon represents an act of good corporate citizenship. Broadcasters like NBC and all of its other sister cable broadcast networks, including PAX and Telemundo, were gave that weekend, NBC's The Golden Globes telecast a major promotional vehicle for the industry and moneymaker for the network. And nevertheless, this is not just an applaud to say, the stations were working together and it was just, they're working together well. It wasn't just to show that they were working together well. Sorry, my train of thought is everywhere today. It wasn't just to show that they were working well. It was to show that they could do good. There's one thing to really be able to work together. Like I was saying about the artists. Yeah. They're together, they're singing together, but they're doing it for good, which is something so difficult for a lot of people.
That's so true.
So I feel like, these big broadcasts, these big, and American, everything television is in America. Yeah. So they always sort of competing with each other, and for them to come together and host the charity, this charity sort of concert and really raise money for tsunami victims, I think it just shows again really good collaboration, and that's what we need. Even in music, even in arts and culture, we need better collaboration, and we need collaboration that is for the good. So
definitely,
I really, really loved this because it had an array of different people involved. You had a lot of musicians, you had a lot of actors, you had a lot of presidents involved, and it just shows that when we come together, guys, we come together with a common good, we can do so much.
That's so true. And I just think, at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's not about the artist, really. It's about the person that's really going to benefit, the victim who's lost everything, And yes, I think you mentioned Elton John, and he has his own organization as well. So Elton John, wow. He's an extraordinary man.
No, definitely.
He really is.
But I think the focus, again, is the fact that music is a powerful way to make money for charities, for organizations. But more than that, it is such a powerful way to really enrich your CSI, and to really make your NGO or your NPO a little bit more viable and easier to get a hold. If I can just download a song and understand your entire concept, I don't have to be reading anything. I don't have to go to any activations. I can just listen and understand exactly where you're coming from.
That's so true.
So I think it's a very smart vehicle to use. Music is a very smart vehicle to use.
But I'm sorry, remember the ABSA Ready to Work campaign?
Yes.
They also made a song, and it really just brought the people together, because I saw it used to play, or I'm not sure if it's probably still playing on TV. So instead of you reading an entire manuscript of what the Ready to Work campaign is about,
normal like public announcements,
you just listen to the song and you're singing along, and sometimes you don't really know what you're singing along to, but then afterwards you figure it out and you're like, wow, this is actually what the Ready to Work campaign is about. And I just feel like if more companies can just try and look at music as well, seeing that we spoke about it being a universal language, just try and find ways. Maybe, I don't know, we can probably have our own concert. Who's not going to want to watch Casper Nyovest, for charity? Really, So I think it's something that can be done, but it's not being done.
And exactly, and I think what's so amazing about music is the fact that it has, like we said, it has the lyrical weight, and on top of it all, it also has the power to spread. easily. So not only are you making the money, but you're also changing concepts, you're changing ideas, you're making people think a little bit more. And that's what I love about it. It's like two punches at one go. So it kills two birds with one stone. It actually reminds me of another song that I think I probably will never forget, because the video is in my mind. I'd never at the time when I saw it, I never had really seen so many artists, especially in South Africa, come together. So many different sounds, so many different voices, so many different just looks and ideas, and you just saw them come together and shoot this video in good spirit.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you remember this, but Danny Kaye, for Danny Kaye rather, Lucky Dube's untimely death was the last straw in the unrelenting effects and pressures of the crime epidemic in the country. So he joined forces with Kabelo to produce the remake of the 1984 Tears for Fears hit Shout, spreading a strong anti-crime message with the help of a host of local musicians and celebrities. Now, the track shattered all records and became the biggest full track download in South African music history, receiving the 2010 summer in recognition. All funds raised from the sale of the new song went to the building of Shout libraries, and its beneficiaries included specialized units in the South African Police Service, as well as the NGOs such as the National Institute for Crime Prevention and the Reintegration of Offenders, People Opposing Women Abuse, Childline, and Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, Shout was founded in 2007, like I said, by Danny Kaye and Kabelo, and is a registered non-profit organization. Did you know about the song? Do you remember the song?
I think I remember. I think Steve Hofmeyer was also.
Shout, let it all out. These are the things. Okay, I'm not going to sing on the show, okay? But I really enjoyed that song because it spoke to what was happening at the time. It was obviously at the time when Lucky Dube was murdered or died, and it was obviously, really sad. But what was really sad was the fact that crime was such a devastating topic in Johannesburg, but in South Africa at the time. We have so many things going on. We've got poverty, we've got underprivileged, people still trying to get into school, we've got unemployment, and we have got so much crime. You could argue that most of it is interlinked. Most of it comes from one. Obviously, if you in poverty, you're looking for an easy way out, so you'll get into crime much easily, but it still doesn't help the fact that so many people are dying every single day because of crime.
True. But I think it was, like you said, you always talk about collaboration and how important it is. And I mean, to see Steve Hofmeyer, with Double HP, I mean, wow.
If they can come together, we can come together as Africans, really.
But I would pay to watch them just be together again.
Oh, like musically?
Yes.
Like perform and stuff.
Yes.
I would love to see a concert with Steve Hofmeyer and Double HP and Kabelo.
Yes. And who else was in this?
Lyra was there, remember?
Oh, Lyra, yes. Was it Karen Zoid? I think Karen Zoid was there,
which I completely love her music. And who else? Tamara Day. Yes.
Yeah.
Slick.
No, I don't see Slicker.
It's not Slicker. But I love the fact that South Africans are also sort of latching onto these ideas of making music an instrument or a vessel in telling a story that we sometimes don't want to hear, that we turn a blind eye to.
True.
So when we talk about stuff like crime being a big issue, it really is, guys. It isn't like they're singing about, something that we don't see every day. Like even walking anywhere, you know that you have a chance to get mugged or get harassed. So for me, I feel like they really, really came up with a unique way to deal with crime. And the beneficiaries were smartly sort of chosen because it was sort of like rehabilitation within prisons and, SAPS. So if you're going to tackle crime, you're going to go straight to the root, which is police. You're going to look at Alcoholics Anonymous. You're going to look at all of these kind of things that will fuel the fire of crime. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think crime can ever be, abolished?
No.
Definitely
There's
not,
absolutely no. I hope so. Let me be optimistic and say I hope so. But if there's so many inequalities, there's so many racial, people still have racial
Yes.
differences that they still see. Politics, obviously, like, you've got fraud everywhere. That's crime. And the thing is with crime, right, is that it's a social thing, but it's also a personal thing. So it's very difficult to fight off. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Because if you were brought up in a space like, for instance, Mitchell's Plain, for instance, and you are around gangs and gang violence, you're going to sort of adopt the same sort of ideas. It's about your environment. What are you growing up in, and you have to choose whether or not you're gonna go into crime or not.
Yeah. I also think that, I mean, as much, let's say the day comes and they tell us, okay, guys, crime is no more.
Yeah.
I still feel like we would. It's not like we're gonna walk and take a train at midnight.
Yeah.
I mean, we as other countries, I think, because
We
I
can
know
do
my
that.
aunt stayed in Australia.
Yeah.
And she used to take trains at like midnight and 1 o'clock. But I don't think we'd get there. I really don't think we'd get there. But
We're hopeful.
we're hopeful, and also our topic was music today, so we don't want to digress. But yes, I feel like music can heal wounds. Music just does something to you that you cannot explain. It takes you to a different world, and so many organizations have seen that, and that is why so many organizations have collaborated with artists and asked them, let's do a Stand Up to Cancer song and let the proceeds be donated to cancer, or let's have a charity concert and help the tsunami victims.
Yeah.
So it's good that so many people can see that this is the power of music, and this is how we can use it to change lives.
And what's great is that music has no prejudice. Like, anyone can listen to it. It's not
Yes.
like you have to look, sound, or be a certain way. Music sort of infiltrates different barriers from, old generations to younger generations. So you're completely right when you say it's a universal language, and it's important that we use it as a catalyst to bring people together. And I understand then, especially for the tsunami victims that, the example I gave, I could only, what I could feel, and I watched a lot of those performances, is when you're singing together, it feels like the problem is everyone's. It doesn't feel like it's just the tsunami victims. We all felt that hit.
Definitely.
And that's what music does. It makes the experience live in people who would have never really experienced it, just to feel it and hear it and understand, So just talking about music and a more personal, space, which song for you, Libika, has sort of transported you to the time when it was written, for instance, like a song that has really been like, I wasn't there, but whenever I hear the song, I feel like I was there. Do you ever get those experiences?
Yes. Well, I get those experiences all the time, Vivi, but really to think of a specific song is a bit of a challenge for me. Wow. I actually really, really don't know.
Do you remember that song by, was it Black Eyed Peas?
Where is the love? Oh my word. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes again. I remember singing the song when I was younger, but me, Viwe. I freestyle all the time, especially when I don't really know the lyrics. And believe it or not, the song came out when I was still very, very young. But a few years ago, I actually learned the lyrics of the song. And I was like, this is what they are trying to say. This is actually what it's all about, And yes, I think that song really hit me. And there's also another song that really, really, I feel like there's something that happened, or there's an experience that I know of, or something that I experienced when I was very young.
Yes.
And I think I was actually 4 years old when this happened, but I don't remember everything when I was 4 years old. However, I remember this particular incident, and I remember the song that was playing. And I remember that song. I remember how loud the song was. I remember how far apart I was from the song, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
You know? And yes, I remember the song. It's All My Life by Casey and Jojo.
Okay, yes.
Yes. So, I mean, that is actually what music has done to me. You know, it makes me remember certain things. But yes, that wasn't really the question.
No, but I understand what you're saying. You're basically saying that music has a power to take you back or take you forward, right?
Yeah.
So
but
if
Where's the Love? Sorry. Where's the Love?
was big, right?
It was big, yeah.
For me, it has to be. I don't know if you know What's Going On by Marvin Gaye.
What's going on?
Yes. I love that song. That song makes me feel like the thing is with that song, you can sing it today, you can sing it tomorrow. There's always something that's going on that's really wrong in the world, and it's important that we sort of shine the light on them, and we sort of we use music as active as you know. Most musicians actually are activists if you think about it, especially
true.
back in the day. But this again is just to show that music has a very important part to play within the CSI space. It re-emphasizes stuff we already know, and it also amplifies the stuff that we forgot. Do you know what I mean?
You're
It
right.
shows off the stuff that we forgot, the people that are forgotten. And every time you listen to We Are the World, every time you listen to Where Is the Love, every time you listen to Stand Up for Cancer or just Stand Up, you remember what it was for and why, and you kind of remind yourself of all the people that are suffering. And that is all people need, so that they can still fight and carry on fighting, but more than that, they can be very aware of their surroundings and be grateful of life and help where they can. It's such a non-intrusive way to remind people that there's people out there who have less. There's people out there who don't have, who have gone through so much and just need for you to give them a prayer or two. You know what I mean? So it's very important that we harness up and coming musicians in South Africa. We harness the young. I know Busgate is one of the organizations, especially I think they're in Soweto, and what they do is that they teach kids how to play musical instruments from of underprivileged backgrounds, and those kids get to play in like America and Europe and all these amazing tours. They get to play everywhere around the world, and it's just one of the ways you can see that music just is a really big catalyst, not only for social change but also to just make people aware of what is going on in their surroundings, what's going on in other parts of the world, what's going on in like tsunami stricken areas, and there's so much going on. Do you know? And the one way to know is through music. So music is an important catalyst, definitely.
But I don't know if you notice, I feel like if Beyonce releases a song, for example, about girls having to slay, or dancing and stuff like that, that song will be a number one hit, or it has the potential to be a number one hit. But I feel like if she's going to sing a song about tsunami victims, I feel like the people don't really, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of, it might not be a number one hit. That's what I'm trying to say, because many people really don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't really want to download a song or have it on their phone, about Beyonce or any artist singing about, someone who just died, or a struggling community and that kind of thing. And that is why I also feel like, as much as we think, it's very important, and we know that it's important, that up and coming musicians, or musicians that, look at MT, he's like 2 years in the game, but like, musicians that should actually, focus on rapping or singing about, the communities and that kind of thing. But as much as we say that, I feel like at the end of the day, some of them just want the money. And yes, Mariah Carey has proven, and Beyonce and all the other celebrities have proven, that it's not just about the money to them. But to some people, they probably would never even consider
Singing about.
And that's just my opinion.
No, I hear you completely. But I think because, artists like Beyonce have so much clout, Beyonce and Eric Clapton and Elton John, that the great thing is that, some people it might not be a hit, but we can guarantee that at least half of her fans are going to listen just because of her name. And this is what a lot of these NPOs bank on, the fact that, you know, people are going to listen to the song and people are going to download the song because Beyonce's on, because Eric Clapton is on the song. And I mean, there's few examples, but We Are the World, I think, is one of the biggest examples of that, where you get artists who came together and were asked to really help, you know, Africa at the time. And not for nothing, I mean, it's not like it's very difficult to just go into a studio and sing. But when you sing and you have a political or a specific agenda within your music, you could also lose a lot of fans, right? So it's a very hard thing for artists to get into, but they do. And when they do, you know, great things happen.
Like
so,
Shout.
There we go, like Shout. So it's very important that we encourage companies, corporate companies, to look into music as one of their CSI campaigns, to look into the power music has, and to really harness the musicians that we have flourishing in the country right now, and the ones that really want to get into it, and to also instill a sense of responsibility in them, and to understand that music has that
power.
Yes, it has that power, for lack of a better word. It has that power. It has that reach. And arts and culture is something that, you know, is scarcely funded in countries like Africa. But it would be great to see that change in the next few years, you know?
Definitely. And I know we are up and coming musicians as well.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
you more than me. But yes, I mean, Viwe, one day I want to go to your concert and know that all the proceeds are going to a non-profit organization.
No, definitely. The non-profit organization of my house.
Wow.
I'm
After
kidding.
everything we spoke about.
I'm completely joking. No, definitely. I think if you can use your voice for good,
yes,
you should. Yes. So I think that wraps up the show for today. If you have any questions, any queries, anything you want to add, please hit us up. Lubika, drum roll. You tell us where they can hit us up.
Okay, so at Social One TV on Twitter, at TV_CSI on Instagram. Use the hashtags BrandLive and Social Show. I know, Viwe, you have another social media that at least I'll give you. Facebook, guys. Just look for Social TV
and just post your question or give us a comment on what you think about the show. We'd love some feedback. We'd love to hear what you think, and also maybe a song that you know really changed the times. Just let us know on our social mediums, and we will try and speak about you tomorrow.
Yes,
and that's
until
all from
tomorrow.
us. Yes. Good night.
You're listening to brandlive.co.za, an industry first in the world of internet radio. Not only are we an internet radio station, we are an internet radio platform for your brand. So why not expose your brand to potentially thousands of listeners and improve your customer relationships and brand equity with podcasts and live broadcasts? Be sure to check brandlive.co.za for more information. brandlive.co.za, harnessing the power of internet radio.